We all know how fast the utility space is growing, and Nissan seems to have a utility for every size and taste. From the full-size body-on-frame Armada to the three-row Pathfinder, the Murano, the Rogue, the Qashqai, and now this. The newest and smallest member of the Nissan utility family, the subcompact KICKS. For those that are not aware, the subcompact utility space is the fastest growing in Canada and worldwide. And a big part of that is people that used to be shopping for subcompact and compact cars are now looking at utilities. This is different than other Nissan utilities in that it's not offered with all-wheel drive. It's a city runabout with better ground clearance, a higher seating position, and a useful shape that makes it comfortable for all passengers and useful in the cargo space. So the KICKS is sold as the S, the SV, and this one we have today is the SR. And I truly believe if you're looking at this product, start shopping at the SV trim. One thing that's important to me anyway is you get alloy wheels over the base steel wheels and hubcaps, plus some other goodies on the inside. The design is clearly Nissan with the same shared design language from the V-Motion front grille, boomerang rear tail lamps, and the floating roof design. The top SR trim can be equipped with optional LED headlamps, and most models can be ordered with the two-tone paint scheme you see here with a different color roof. As I mentioned, in my opinion, you should start looking at the SV trim. You get the alloy wheels on the outside. On the inside, number one thing for Canadians, heated seats. That's right, on the SV trim. Also, on the screen in the center, you get satellite radio plus Android Auto and Apple CarPlay becoming a very important thing these days. Also, you get a 7-inch digital instrument cluster behind the steering wheel. Now, if you go for this top SR trim, you get the faux leather seats and something very cool, the Bose speaker in the driver's headrest. Now, speaking of seats, the rear seats really are surprisingly roomy. You get a lot of room back there, and they fold down, and you get a useful cargo space. One thing to note, the seats don't fold perfectly flat for a flat floor in the back, but most people can live with that. So overall, this is a nicely designed interior. They've done a lot with a small space. A couple of other things I like, some nice soft touch materials on the center of the dash, and especially in the tunnel here where the transmission is, you can rest your knee there. It's well put together. I will get to the price, I promise, but let's go for a drive. Okay, let's call this Nissan KICKS exactly what it is. It's a small, fun city runabout, or a second vehicle for many families. And a lot of people overbuy when they buy utility vehicles, so just keep this in mind. If you want to drive this in the winter, you put on good winter tires, it's going to be able to go anywhere, especially in the city. We've been living with small front-wheel drive hatchbacks and sedans for decades. Just look at this as a little bigger. And because it's small, it uses just a 1.6-liter four-cylinder engine with 125 horsepower, putting the power down through a continuously variable transmission, similar to most other Nissan products. Now, a couple of things to note. The KICKS uses a torsion beam rear suspension instead of an independent multi-link design, and the rear brakes are basic drums, all tried and true technology that I think are used to help keep the cost down. Now, a big part of a new car purchase these days has to include standard safety features, and this car comes well equipped. It comes with standard forward collision warning and autonomous braking. If you get this top SR trim, it does have some additional safety features like cross traffic alert. So it's amazing to me that Nissan has been able to take this small front-wheel drive platform and make it feel like a utility vehicle. You actually feel some of the unevenness in the pavement, and that gives it a utility kind of truck-like feel. Then you throw in the most important thing for a lot of people is the high seating position and a great view out a large front window. So people love utilities for that main reason. You get to see more from the passenger seat, and outside visibility from the side windows is good as well. And I gotta say, I am impressed with this KICKS. You know what? Of all the Nissan products I've driven in the last year or so, this is the one to me that stands out as a real value in the marketplace. This is what people want. They want to have, a small commuter car for the city, but they also want it to look and feel a little bit rugged, and they nailed it right on the head. And you don't have to spend a lot either. Okay, finally we get to the price, and here's the good news. For people who are shopping at a compact car or compact hatchback, it matches up almost perfectly. The base S starts at roughly $18,000. That SV trim I encourage you to look at starts at roughly $21,000. You get the alloy wheels, you get the heated seats, very important in Canada, and the upgraded radio. And the top one we have here starts at $23,000. So it does match up very well with many compact cars and hatchbacks, but you can get a utility.
Styling of the vehicle is quite dynamic, as you can see. The two-tone roof has been a key signature element for the vehicle, and we know that the millennials are looking for something a little bit different. They're not looking for their parents' crossover or SUV. So I think in the design expression we get that. It still has a whole lot of utility, a lot of room and space, along with great fuel economy. So I think all in all it's a fantastic package. As product planners, we look very carefully at what this customer, and they're the millennial. And they were the first generation that really grew up and their first ride in a car was in a child seat from hospital, and they are really steeped in the need for safety and the need for technology. So one of the things we've done is we've made an automatic emergency braking standard technology. Blind spot warning, rear cross traffic alert, standard forward collision warning. All these technologies that we believe will resonate with the millennials tied perfectly back in this vehicle in terms of what we've incorporated.